Lisa and I have been sailing together for probably over 6 years, long before Mondo. Had another boat called Teudt. Over the years, we let Lisa skipper the Winter Series races at Man Yacht Club, and then she won, and she hasn't looked back since. She just loves it, just loves it. And then, riding back to about 2019, Lisa decided she wanted her own boat. How do I achieve that? It's very expensive to do it by yourself, so she approached a mutual friend of ours, Nadine. Yes, I want to buy a boat too. And Nadine said, well, we really need someone who knows something a bit about boats, how to maintain them and so on. So they approached me. And I said, that sounds like a wonderful idea. So we went around and hunted around for various boats and ended up picking a Sydney 38 Mondo, which is based in Manly, Queensland, and sailed it back to Sydney.
We looked at a lot of different boats, and we were kind of looking at a Sydney 38 or a 540, but we just thought from a stability and strength point of view, those Sydney 38s are like really ticked all of the boxes, and absolutely no regrets. And we've been involved in the class now for 3 years, really enjoying being part of class racing, and it's a really good bunch of men and women in that class. And yeah, so really glad we went with that.
List just continually grows. That's all I can say.
Not in height though.
Not in height. But in terms of experience, knowledge, and so on, yes, continual growth pattern there. I learned stuff off Lisa. I used to be a very aggressive sailor when I was a lot younger. Less so now, and that aggression, or determination is probably a better word, has been taken over by Lisa. No, we're going to do that. Let's put up the kite. You sure? Yes, we're putting up the kite. All right, okay, fine, we'll do that. Right. And so it works well as a team. We different series. We often be different. I'll be skipper for one series. Lisa will be skipper for another series. In the Southport race, I've got better navigation skills, so I'll be the navigator, and Lisa will be in command and skipper of this event.
I think for a lot of people, especially female sailors, getting opportunities to sail on larger boats and being able to do a variety of positions on those boats is really difficult when you're simply a crew member. And for me, I really felt like I was never going to quite get where I wanted to get as quickly if I didn't make that step and buy my own boat. And I'm in an extremely lucky position that I have the financial means to be able to, buy into a boat, and certainly going into a syndicate has made us buy a bigger boat than what we could have bought individually. And so, I'm a huge fan of syndicates as a great way of mixing people together, and also being able to, share the financial burden of upkeeping a boat.
And I just love walking into Whitworth and seeing everything 2/3 off.
But I think overall it's a really diverse crew, and we've chosen people for their skill sets and their experience and their gaps, not necessarily because they've been always our existing crew, or because, they've had a huge amount of experience before. We've taken what, they can bring to the table, and we've made sure that we've covered off all of the skill sets, and we've also got people with multiple skill sets, so that if someone does get sick or injured, we've got backup plans for every position. Yeah, so look, it definitely wasn't our intention to try and have such a, challenging qualifier, but it just so happened, as you do, we organised all of our crew to get together. We wanted to race offshore, give everyone the opportunity to do, the intention was to do a couple of nights offshore, also be able to do a bunch of safety drills like man overboard, reefs and what have you. And look, we got out there to sail, and it ended up being 25 to 30 knots reach all the way up there and all the way back again. And it was actually unsafe to kind of do any of those safety manoeuvres, and we transferred those onto a different weekend. But it was a great experience for everyone to kind of really, for the we were expecting it to take a couple of days, and we did it in 25 hours. So it was really intensive. There was a lot of slop. It was high speeds. The boat was pretty much quite violent. The boat was, sort of tipped over the whole time. But it also gave us the opportunity, because it wasn't in race conditions, that every crew member got an opportunity to helm, and everyone got an opportunity to be on the main and to trim, and so it gave them really great context around what it's going to be like if we do hit some rough conditions offshore.
The rookies performed really well. The only thing which didn't survive the race was the stove. We've got this famous photo where someone's taken a harness and harnessed the stove in. It sort of says it all about the trip. We broke a water tank, but that was about the worst of the damage to the boat, and none of the crew got seasick. One of the crew said, the conditions are so bad, are we going to pull in somewhere? I said, no, we're not in survival mode, we're coping really well, we're just going to keep going, because that's what you do in a race. And I think they all feel really proud of that achievement, actually, all of them.
Yeah, it was confidence boosting for a lot of them that have done, even for the ones that have been offshore before, have never really experienced that level of intensity for such a long period of time. And that comes down to then looking after your personal health around water and food and calories and sleep, and being able to manage that. And I think that was a great experience for them to have. Look, I actually am really looking forward to the start line. Certainly it'll be first time that we're starting with 70 other yachts, and yeah, I'm just really excited to be actually part of the fleet, because I've spectated a lot of offshore starts before, just to watch it get out of the harbour, sort of, get going, get into a groove. And I think, as our first offshore race on Mondo, it will be about just getting that experience under our belt and getting there, making smart decisions. Navigation is going to be huge, and really just getting ourselves gelled together, because really excited to do this long race. But I think the goal of all of our crew is to be able to be there and do Hobart at the end of the year, and that's the long goal. We
worked well as a team. I'm happy to be navigator, toasty warm downstairs, happy to have Lisa up on deck driving the boat, and if there's any need to discuss anything, we discuss it. And we normally right on the same page anyway.
Yeah.